Welcome to our practice today. We'll begin legs up the wall. So feel free to move your mat, or however you're setting yourself up is just fine. Wiggling the hips up against the baseboards and extending both legs up the wall, as the name implies. You can relax your toes, relax your ankles, allow the knees to soften and maybe even bend a little bit. And as this energy moves downward from the feet, through the legs, towards the hips and the back against the floor, allow that reversal of energy to allow you to feel grounded and to bring a little more awareness to the breath. We'll begin quietly here for a few minutes. Breathing in, slowly exhaling through the nose, and welcoming yourself to take a deep breath in and open mouth exhale whenever you need it. Notice any sensations in the feet and the legs who normally hold us up, walk us around, giving them some rest and relief. Finding the breath, feeling the belly expand and lift, softly lower, the chest caves in as you breathe out, letting go of any stale air, stale thoughts, stale sensations. And we'll enjoy here for just a few more minutes. Breathing in, breathing out. Begin to wiggle the toes, bringing a little movement back to the feet. And then bending into the knees, slowly allow the heels to drag downward towards the floor as your knees come in towards your chest. Maybe you grab your wrists around the tops of the knees, hugging them close in. And then just lower the knees to the left, finding a gentle twist. Reach the right arm out and allow the gaze to follow over the right hand and the right shoulder. As we allowed everything to dump down out of the feet and the legs, now we release the right shoulder. Release through the abdominal muscles, the abdominal area, in our gentle twist. Again, inviting a sense of groundedness. Inhaling, as you're ready, back to center. Drawing the knees into your chest again, maybe hugging them close, slightly tucking the chin. And then shifting the knees to the right, lowering them all the way down. Maybe rolling to your side a little more. And then reaching that left arm out, opening through the inner right arm, or inner left arm rather. Maybe taking your gaze over to the left as well. Continuing that deep breath, allowing yourself to settle into these quiet moments, even if the quietness is only in your mind. Final few breaths on this side. And then inhale to roll all the way over to your right, finding a fetal position. Taking a few breaths here. Before gently pressing yourself up to sit, making your way back to the center of the mat to find a child's pose. Bringing the knees underneath you, lowering the forehead to the mat. Arms can either extend overhead or rest back by your shins. Maybe you bend into your elbows and bring the palms together and let the hands rest on the back of the neck. And as we breathe here, surrendering downward towards the mat, towards the floor, bowing into ourselves, letting the breath expand the back body, breathing out anything unnecessary on the exhale. Taking a load off. Just let it roll down the back, off the tailbone, out through the third eye center. Use the breath to wash away the weight, the stress. And then pressing down with the shins, slightly tuck the belly button in to roll the spine as you begin to sit up, letting the head still hang heavy. Coming up with erect spine, then the shoulders, then the head and the neck. Keeping the eyes soft or closed. Find yourself in a comfortable seat at the center of the mat. Maybe that looks different than sitting on your feet or your knees. Take any comfortable position. Take a deep breath in and exhale, open mouth. Gently blink open the eyes and reach the arms up overhead. Palms together at the top, seal them as you bring the hands down through the center line of the body and let them rest at the third eye center. Breathe in here. Exhale, lower the hands down to the heart center. Lower the gaze towards the fingertips. Another deep breath in here. Exhale, release the palms to either side of your hips. And reach for the floor on your right side, lifting up the left arm, the left palm towards the sky. Fingertips now reaching towards the sky. Breathing into that left side body. Exhale, switch sides. Gently lower the left hand. Reach the right arm up. Expanding through the side body, bringing some breath awareness to the lungs, the ribs. Exhale, lower that right hand down. And just drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. We'll allow that neck to release a little. You can lift your left arm if you need a little bit more sensation. Maybe lift or tuck the chin. Finding just the right spot. Breathing in and out slowly, deeply. Relax your face and your jaw. The opposite shoulder, relax that down. Lowering that left hand, lift the neck gently. And switch sides, lower the left ear to the left shoulder. Finding a spot of tension in the right side of the neck. Maybe lift the right arm if you need a little bit more sensation. Again, gently yesing and knowing with the head if you need to find a little bit more. And then breathe deeply, slowly, quietly. Allowing the neck that space to release. Deep inhale. And let the exhale bring that right hand back down to the mat. The head follows. Take a few slow shoulder rolls. And then inhale the shoulders up towards the ears, scrunching them up. Take a deep breath in, fill up as much as you can, hold it, scrunch the shoulders up higher, and then on your exhale, big breath out, shrug the shoulders down. Press the shoulders down, reach the fingertips towards the floor, lift up through the back of the head, broaden through the collarbones. Inhale, let the chest rise. Exhale, melt to a relaxed, comfortable seat. Bring the palms together at heart center again. Inhale them up to the third eye. Exhale into the thumbs and the third eye center. And then inhale the palms all the way up until you're looking up at the ceiling, fingertips facing there. Exhale, open the arms wide as you lower them down. Walk them in front of you and tap the feet out. Just tapping the tops of the feet. Tuck the toes under, shift back, spreading the toes wide. And then bring the big toes to touch, widen the knees, find a wide-legged child's pose, if that's comfortable for you. Arms reaching towards the top of the mat, chest and forehead lower towards the ground. And focus on expanding between the shoulder blades here. What I sometimes, and many teachers refer to as the back of the heart space. Take that full breath out. Inhale, lifting up to hanging cobra, keeping the big toes to touch, lower the hips, open the heart towards the top of the mat. Staying here for a breath or two. Bringing that low belly in towards the low back if you feel a little scrunch in the back. One more inhale, look up. Exhale, shift back to wide-legged child's pose. Take it in on the inhale. Let it out on the exhale. Roll the spine back up to tabletop. And take a few cat and cows or any other organic movements that might feel good. Maybe you want to look back at your tail, sticking the hip out. Maybe you want to roll through some figure eights, shoulder rolls, anything that would feel good. Wherever you can loosen and soften. And then we're going to gently make our way to our bellies. Bringing the forearms down, finding Sphinx pose. Rolling the shoulders back. Bringing the heart forward. And lowering the gaze towards the top of the mat or wherever is going to be more neutral for the back of your neck. And just a few breaths here. Exhale, slowly release the forehead to the mat. Reach the arms back, tops of the hands down, palms facing up. Then bring the big toes to touch. Bring the palms down. I'm just going to lift our legs for half locust, just bringing a little bit of activity into our more restorative practice today. So big toes touching, lifting up from the inner thighs. Keep the forehead on the mat or at least lowered, neutral neck. Breathe in. Exhale, release the toes. Bring the hands next to your chest. Slowly lift up to a cobra. Lifting up to our tabletop. Walk the knees forward. Sit back on your knees, roll back onto your feet. We're going to make our way to Yogi Squat Malasana. And if you've got a block or a book or something to make this a little bit more restorative, you can have a little seat on your block. Or just taking more gentler, simpler version of Malasana, maybe not pushing as much as you usually do. Finding length and lift through the spine. Finding a spot in front of you to gaze at. And allowing the downward energy to release anything that may be stuck inside. If you keep coming back to a certain thought or a certain sensation, acknowledge it with the breath. And try to feel it through the posture. Invite it to make its way out, showing at the door per se. Thank you for coming. Thank you for teaching me what you taught. Thank you next. One more breath here. And exhaling, release the hands to the mat. Slowly lift up to a forward fold. Heel toeing the feet together, but keeping them about a couple fifths width distance wide. Bending into your knees so your chest rests on the shelf of your thighs, and send the arms back behind you as you let your head hang heavy. Maybe you clasp your fingertips together, roll the shoulders back, and find standing yoga mudra. Maybe you just take a simple forward fold. Bend a little more into the knees, coming up halfway. Reach the arms forward, shift the weight to the heels, begin to stand up, reach up. Big breath in, exhale, find mountain pose. palms at your side, gaze lowered or eyes closed. Feel firmly grounded in your stance. Maybe shifting back and forth on the feet until you find your center of gravity. Maybe you need to tuck the tailbone. Maybe you need to untuck it. Maybe you need to relax your shoulders down or lift the sternum. Growing roots down through the feet, press into the floor. Like a plant, a beautiful flower growing up through its stem. Let the spine elongate, the chin slightly tuck. And imagining that flower blossom blooming from the crown of the head. On your inhale, blink open the eyes, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly dive forward, forward fold. Lengthening out through the backs of the legs. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Just finding a low lunge. You can lower the knee if you need a little bit gentler version. Inhale, lift the gaze and the chest. And walk that right foot forward, however much you need. Maybe you even need to move it back a little bit. We're going to look for a lengthening in that front left leg. Feel free to use any props. Maybe bring your hand to the inside of the right leg, kind of like a lizard. But we're really going to be more focusing on that left leg, more so than the hip. Take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Inhaling, looking up. Shifting the weight back. Walking the hands back, finding a reverse lunge. Maybe you sit all the way back on your left heel. Optional. Keep the heart open, so keeping the chest open, fingertips spread wide. And then inhaling, coming back up to the lunge. Lifting up off the knee. And stepping that left foot forward. Forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, send that right foot to the back of the mat. Finding a lunge, lowering that right knee down. Untucking the back toe. This time looking for that stretch in the front right hip, top of the right leg, the hip flexor. Maybe you need to walk that left foot forward. Maybe 1 or 2 more rounds of breath, however many you need to even it out. And gently walking your hands back, finding that reverse lunge, widening the fingertips, keeping the front torso lifted as you pull that left hip back to find the stretch in the back of the left leg. And using your inhale, let's gently come back up to center. Tucking the back right toe under, lifting up for our lunge. And stepping forward to forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway, long straight spine. Exhale, slowly fold. Bending the knees, lowering down to your hips. Bringing the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Finding our bound angle pose. Wiggle your heels forward or back to find the right amount of intensity or lack thereof. If you want to make it even more restorative, you can prop your knees up with your blocks or props. It can be a different sensation. Allowing the inner part of the legs to open without the blocks can also feel good. So take a moment to set yourself up. Inhale to lift up out of your pelvis. So instead of just dumping down, find a little lift up through the spine. Maybe roll the shoulders a few times to relax them. And then hinging at the hips so you can maybe grab your toes. Keep that openness in this length, but then slowly allow yourself to melt into the posture. So maybe you're able to fold forward a little more. Maybe use your hands as support. Allow the gaze to lower towards your feet. We'll spend a minute or two here. Again, using your breath to notice, acknowledge, and release. Fully inhaling. Taking your time on your exhales. Letting go, tuning in, staying present with your body and each round of breath. Inhale, begin to lift the gaze, lift the chin, looking up, stretching the front of the throat. Exhale, tucking the chin, opening through the back of the neck. And inhaling, slowly sitting back up. Taking a moment to let the body adjust. Notice the reverberations of the posture as you gently come out of it. Bring your hands to the outside of the knees and close them together. And propping yourself up with your hands, gently windshield wiper the knees together, left and right. Bringing them back through center, heel toe the feet apart and allow the knees to gently fall in towards each other. Or maybe you want to take one at a time for a little bit more intensity, a little bit more sensation. Go ahead and even out. And bring the feet back together. Hugging the knees in, wrapping the forearms around. Deep breath in. Exhale through open mouth. Keeping that right knee hugged in, extend the left leg long. reach back with your right hand behind you as you gently twist in towards that left knee. You can hug it closer with your left arm. Just taking a gentle twist. Remembering to keep the spine somewhat straight. Not allowing the chest to collapse in. Inhaling back to center. Gently release that right leg on the mat. And draw the left knee in. Take a moment to sit up straight and then bring the left hand behind you. Turning in towards your right knee, using that right arm to assist with the twist. Breathing as deeply as you can. On your exhale, come back to center. Bring both knees together and lower on down to your back. Spend just a few breaths here. Just in this moment, no particular asana, no particular agenda. Just allowing sensation of the back body to be heavy against the floor. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhale the right knee in towards your chest, clasping the fingertips interlaced together around that right knee. Lengthen the left leg long and find your wind removing pose. Hugging that right knee down and in. Tuck the chin. We'll spend an extra minute here, more than usual, and let the pose soak in. Embracing the squeeze. Relaxing the jaw and the face as you do. Filling up a little bit extra on your next inhale. Use that exhale to release and let go as that right leg lengthens on the mat. When you're ready, draw the left knee in. Fingertips clasped again, this time around the left knee. Gently pressing downward and inward. Making the spine a little bit more flat towards the earth. Squeezing in, but a gentle squeeze. Should be no discomfort. A few more breaths here. Take an extra long inhale. And let it all go with the exhale. Releasing that left leg to the mat. Rolling onto one side. Gently press yourself up to sit. Finding a deer or pigeon pose with the legs. One leg parallel towards the top of the mat. The other leg at a somewhat 90-degree angle. Eventually shifting it back if you'd like to take pigeon variation. I'll stay in deer pose here. Again, just acknowledging where you're at, both physically and in this time and space. Inviting yourself to stay right here, right now. Your breath is just enough as it is. And on an inhale, lifting the gaze, lifting up if you lowered into the posture. And bring both hands over the front leg. We're going to walk it to a little gentle side twist. So keep your hips and your legs where you're at. Just turn your torso over the side and maybe lower down to your forearms. Let the head hang or prop your forehead up with the block. You can also stack your fists. Use that as support. One more breath out. Use your inhale to gently sit back up. Coming back to center. And just lift the knees, and we're going to switch sides for our deer pose or pigeon. Opposite leg parallel to the top. 90 degrees with the other. Drawing that right or the opposite leg back if you need pigeon, otherwise lowering down to your hands, staying as upright as you need, lowering down as much as you need, tuning back into the sound of your breath. Cleansing, washing away. Filling and energizing. Stay right here with it. Take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Then beginning to sit yourself back up. If you took pigeon, drawing that back leg up to that 90-degree angle. And then walking your fingertips over the front leg to that side for a little twist. Maybe lowering down to the forearms. Again, lowering or letting the head hang heavy. And just melting down over the side of yourself. gently lift up. Coming back to center. That back leg is just going to come to our Janu Shirshasana. So extending that back leg forward, sole of the other foot comes into the thigh. And we're going to take both variations here, starting with reaching the arms up, turning towards the lengthened leg, and reaching straight. Allowing the hands to grab onto anywhere between the knee and the ankle or toes that you can. Using your inhale to lift a little out of the posture, and using your exhale to release and lower. Take a few rounds of that. Inhaling, lifting up halfway, or maybe a quarter of the way. Exhaling, releasing back down, like little waves. Take one more round of this breath. In, lifting. Out, lowering. Then lift the left arm, spinning the chest open, reaching that left arm up, holding still with the right hand, and wiggle that right arm to the inside of the right leg. Maybe you release your grip. And again, inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, reaching down, lowering down. Inhaling, pulling that left shoulder back, lifting the torso up a little. Exhaling, taking that side body stretch. A few more rounds of that. Really subtle, really gentle. Last exhale. Use your inhale to lift yourself up. Rainbow that left arm down next to you. Reach the right arm up, little counter stretch. And then inhale, come back to center. Extend the opposite leg long, switching sides. Sole of the foot into the other thigh. Adjusting your stance. When you're ready, reaching the arms up. Turning the gaze, turning the torso over the long leg, reaching on the exhale. Let your hands grab wherever they may. And then inhale, lifting the gaze and the heart, maybe drawing the shoulders back. Exhale, heart first, lowering. Inhale, lifting up a bit. Exhale, lowering. Maybe you invite a little bit more depth into the posture. Maybe you back off a little bit. Listen to the body. Take one more round. Exhaling fully. We'll try this time wiggling your the arm down first, and the upper arm comes up now. Inhaling, reaching. For me, it's my right if you're following me. Reaching the upper arm up, pulling that right shoulder back, and then exhaling, lowering, if you can, into that posture a little bit more. Inhaling, lifting the torso up, pulling that right shoulder back. Exhaling, releasing down. A few more rounds of that. Full breath out. And then inhale to lift all the way up. That hand comes down next to your other hip. Sweep the opposite arm up. Gentle counter stretch. Inhale to center. Extend both legs long in front of you. Take a forward fold. And feel free to prop yourself up how you need, or bend the knees deeply. Folding as you'd like. Be here for a minute or so. And give your body permission to release through the backs of the legs. You may find the longer you sit and breathe in this posture, you're able to remove props or let the legs lengthen more. Or you may find the opposite and you need to adjust to soften or increase the support. It's a good practice of listening to where we need to offload on our bodies. What areas can take a little bit more. When we take our practice off the mat, maybe we'd have a little more awareness of those boundaries of the mind, the heart. Where is a little extra sensitive that we need to bring some care to? Where might need a little bit more discipline or opportunity or challenge? Exhale it out. Begin to sit up by rolling the spine, lifting the heart, drawing the shoulders down the back, lifting the chin in the gaze. We'll gently make our way to reclined hero, which of course is, like everything, optional. You can just lower on down to your back. You can actually sit in a chair and bring your feet kind of behind the back leg of the chair as another variation. You can bring props behind you. Lowering your hips between the feet. Walking the hands back as you lower downward. Taking it really slow, really slowly. Until maybe you're all the way down, or you find just the right spot in the chair. Allow the shoulders to melt down. Find a little openness in the heart center. As we let go of the heavy things, the tension, we can bring some healing, open the portal to the upper chakras of speaking out for ourselves, and connecting with others, connecting with the divine or God, greater awareness of all life. Notice if you're holding tension in your hands or your face, somewhere else. What can you put down? What can you release a little more? If it's comfortable, take a few more breaths, staying as long as you need. As you're ready, be ever so kind to yourself as you lift up. Tiny little movement at a time. Being extra gentle with the neck. Taking a pause. Let the body follow. Let the blood flow recalibrate. before walking yourself forward, coming to a comfortable seat. Closing the eyes, bringing the hands to your knees. Just let everything soak in. May you feel a sense of lightness and ease in the body, the heart, and the mind. Together we'll take a deep breath in and an open mouth exhale. And then open the eyes. Thank you for joining me.